Akron going to get the win, move to 6-5, get bowl eligible, and tied for second with Ohio in the MAC East, and rack up another win for Terry Bowden and company, make it 3 in a row, the chance to get a 4th straight win coming Friday here at home against Kent State.
Congratulations to this Akron team. They have earned it. Terry Bowden, a lot of hard work for he and his staff, getting to the point this program's at right now. Keep it going.
Well, our final score, Akron 42, Buffalo 21. For Randy Cross, Cassie Gallo, our entire CBS Sports Network crew, this is Jason Knapp. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Let's get you to Tulsa, Navy, and the Golden Hurricane. Rich Wall, Adam Archuleta, Rashawn Ali on the call.
Welcome to Tulsa, Chapman Stadium. Navy and Tulsa, number 16 Navy against the Golden Hurricane in the American. Every week the stakes get higher for Navy, and this week Navy a chance to beat Tulsa. Ken Niamatalolo has an opportunity to take the next step and get to 9-1. Niamatalolo and Navy last week beating SMU, taking down Memphis 2 weeks ago. And first play from scrimmage, a Navy injury. Amos Mason is down right now. Mason, the junior out of Nashville, on his feet and on his way to the sideline. Lots of expectations. If you're Ken Niamatalolo, Adam Archuleta, how do you keep everybody's feet on the ground? How do you keep everybody calm?
Well, I think they do exactly what they've been doing all season. They have a system offensively that they believe in, and defensively as well. There have been some high-powered offenses here in the American Athletic Conference that this defense has been able to shut down.
Dane Evans is the quarterback for Tulsa. And from the shotgun on 2nd and 1, scrambles and fires it out of bounds. Chick-fil-A brings you the starting lineups for both Tulsa and for Navy. Evans, the junior out of Sanger, Texas. He's got D'Angelo Brewer in the backfield. And a sharp throw in and out of the hands of Kieris Garrett, his fine senior wide receiver who doesn't drop many. He's caught 74 passes.
Well, here's the thing, and Kieris Garrett is going to be the key matchup here going up against these Navy cornerbacks. He's a big, tall receiver, and right there in the beginning of the game, in the first drive, a place where you really haven't been that good this year offensively is sustaining drives and scoring on that first drive. Very big missed opportunity right there to convert on your first 3rd down.
Brandon Sanders with the fair catch. Now offensively, Navy is one of the toughest to prepare for, one of the toughest to stop. Their dynamic option attack is really something to behold.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the LG V10 iVision to explain exactly what you have to deal with. Always the fullback is the very first option, and this is an offensive line that is comprised of 5 seniors that know exactly what they're doing, and that's a big reason why Keenan Reynolds has been able to find the end zone so far, so many times this season.
Reynolds on 1st and 10 from his own 16. Navy's first possession. Tulsa goes 3 and out with their first touch. Midshipman, number 16 in the country, 8-1 and 6-0 in the American. And it's a pitch to Damon Brown, and Brown is outside, busts it out across the 40, across the 45. Jeremy Brady made the stop, and Navy is off and rolling. Chick-fil-A starting lineup. Reynolds, the senior quarterback out of Antioch, Tennessee. He is setting records seemingly with every game. NCAA career rushing touchdown leader. All-time touchdowns. He is 2 behind Wisconsin's Monty Ball. Monty Ball with 83, Reynolds with 81. Certainly reachable here tonight on a chilly night in Tulsa. On the pitch, this is DeBrandon Sanders. And Sanders knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. So much focus on Reynolds, but to run this option attack, you've got to have good fullbacks, and Chris Swain is one of those.
Yeah, they have very big fullbacks here for Navy standards, and they've combined for over 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns this season. They average 5.1 yards per carry between them, so that's something is every defense knows that you have to be able to stop the fullback up the middle.
Reynolds will keep, and Reynolds has got a first down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Defensively, a lot of pressure on the secondary and the linebackers. Matt Linscott, though, is a good one for Tulsa, the junior.
And their safety, Michael Muto, and the entire secondary here has to have a great day, not only getting off of blocks, but making those key tackles in the open field.
First drive, Reynolds and Navy on the move. And it's Reynolds who is hit and dropped. Frankie Davis, the sophomore defensive end. Gain of 4. All right, what records can he set tonight? 81 total touchdowns. He's 2 shy of Wisconsin's Monty Ball. Rushing yards, Napoleon McCallum is in his sights. Touchdown passes, the Navy record at 29. Of course, last week moved into sole possession of the career rushing touchdown lead with 81. That was in a wipeout of SMU. On the pitch, Dyson Romine. Adam Archuleta, great defender that you were in college and the NFL. A number like this and a stat like this has to horrify you.
Well, this is exactly what you get. When you get a quarterback with the caliber of Keenan Reynolds and his ability to run this offense and not make mistakes, this is their formula. They put together drives. And their head coach, Ken Niumatalolo, said, we are a grinded-out offense, and you've seen it this year. If you allow Navy to go down the field and score and get the first points of the game, you're playing exactly into their hands.
Well, here's the third down, and it's a big third down for the Tulsa defense. And Reynolds on the handoff, ball is down, and Trent Martin is on it. Tulsa forces a turnover. Craig Suits with the hit. Martin, a rare turnover for Navy.
Well, just outstanding penetration up front. Jesse Brubaker, the defensive tackle, coming inside, forcing a Navy fumble, and that's something that they don't do. Only 4 lost fumbles coming into this game, and that's exactly what this defense had to do. Take the ball away, give it back to your offense, and give them a chance to go down the field and get the first points of the game.
For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage will conclude after this commercial break, but we continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find CBS Sports Network by going to CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. Both teams have a possession. Neither team moved the football. It's Navy and it's Tulsa. And so much is at stake. Rich Schwartz along with Adam Archuleta. You've got a championship in the American, possibly a New Year's Six Bowl, a number 16 ranking right now for the midshipmen.
Yeah, and Navy is playing their best football of the season over the course of the last month. They are peaking at the right time, but this is still going to be a big challenge. Tulsa, they have a high-powered offense, and they haven't quite been able to get that consistency, but they certainly can't afford to overlook this Tulsa football team.
And it's a great contrast, certainly in style. Tulsa throws it. They like to throw it down the field and across the field. That a dangerous throw is caught by Connor Floyd, and Floyd is out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Chick-fil-A brings you the starting lineups. What do you like best about Dane Evans, a quarterback for this Tulsa team?
Well, here's the thing, and as we saw early in this game, they want to get the ball out of their hands quickly. And they're going to spread the field horizontally. They're going to try and get Navy to bite up and then hit them with the big ball behind them as the game goes on.
Zach Langer, the senior running back, has a gain of 3. And there's Evans. He's had some really big games this year against some good teams, Memphis and Oklahoma in particular.
Well, and the key is for him, it's about accuracy. You know, they've had to change his fundamentals since the spring and in fall camp. He's getting a better feel and understanding for the system. And the key for him is just to let the game come to him. Don't try to force anything, but make those easy throws when they present themselves.
Blitz comes, little swing pass, Langer with the catch, and he's hit at the 39, falls forward and is out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Daquan Thomason, the stop for Navy. Tulsa looking for their first down on a 3rd down and 2, actually, excuse me, 4th down and 1. The stick has 4th down, and the previous play will be reviewed, and they will look at the spot. Let's see if he definitively went out. But from that angle, you can't see when the knee hits, but it did look like.
Well, I think he short, Rich. I think he was short. The question is, was he half a yard short or was he a full yard short?
Yeah, it looks like the 40, well past the 41. See where the ball hits or where he hits. Right there. So I think he's past the 41.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's 4th down.
So the spot is confirmed. There'll be no movement of the ball. And for Navy, and Ken Niumatalolo, we talk so much about his offense. He has the best defense in the American, and I don't think people talk enough about it.
Yeah, it's vastly underrated just because of how good their offense is. But their defense has been able to shut down some very high-powered offenses so far this year in the American Athletic.
Oh, Sanders the catch, and he's met immediately at the 15. Sean Norman on the special teams with a big hit. Navy gets the football, their own 16. We are scoreless in Tulsa tonight.
Navy has 32 seniors. They have a chance to be the winningest senior class in Navy history, and this is a special day.
Keenan Reynolds is on the edge of history. Reynolds keeps. Reynolds catches. History in Annapolis.
That was last week, and the records continue for Keenan Reynolds and Navy. This week, on the road against Tulsa on a chilly night here in Oklahoma. A fumble by Keenan Reynolds on the last possession in Tulsa territory, a rare turnover. Only the 6th turnover all season for the midshipman, and Reynolds rips across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. That's a 12-yard run.
Well, you're going to see a lot of different types of runs. This time, Keenan Reynolds is just going to follow up inside it with the quarterback keeper, faking the dive play, and you see that big hole inside, capitalizing on the aggressive nature of the linebackers and picking up a big play on 1st down.
Reynolds, of course, getting closer to Napoleon McCallum's all-time record at the Academy, and this time a lot of hats on him. Out to the 33-yard line, Craig Suits made the stop. Accurate keys to success for both teams.
Well, offensively, just be Navy, and what that means is time of possession, win the turnover battle, sustain drives, just do what you do. They've got to pressure Dane Evans on the other side of the ball, force him into mistakes. Tulsa has to get a fast start against this Navy offensive attack, and you've got to be able to force turnovers and put stress on Keenan Reynolds and that Navy offense.
Well, stress is what Navy's offense does to defenses. Chris Swain, the big fullback. But right now, Tulsa's had some nice plays. They've forced a turnover, and Navy's looking at a 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, one of the things that you have to do, and it's easier said than done, is you have to be able to win 1st down. That's another key to this game. And make sure that Navy doesn't have those 3rd and short opportunities to convert on 1st down. 3rd and 3, this is exactly where Navy has to try and be.
Well, you've got Swain, who's at 245 pounds, the fullback. He's behind Reynolds right now. A pair of slot backs on 3rd down and 3. Again, the ball's on the ground. And again, Tulsa says they haven't. My goodness. In 9 games, Navy had turned it over just 5 times. And it looks like Navy has recovered here.
This is very uncharacteristic, and this just comes with Reynolds holding the ride on the fullback too long. Chris Swain and Keenan Reynolds not on the same page right there, and it looked like Reynolds was a little bit confused on what he wanted to do. Tried to give the ball to Chris Swain a little bit late. He could not secure it, and here you go. 2 fumbles here on the very first 2 drives of the game for this defense.
Boy, 2 stops for a Tulsa defense that is dead last in the conference against high-powered Navy. Connor Floyd on the return. Floyd is outside, and he's got some green, and Floyd all the way across the 45 is out to the 48-yard line. Tulsa's defense holding so far, and their offense has it when we return. The Glenn Dobbs statue at Tulsa right now. Navy here in Tulsa. Ken Niumatalolo in his 8th season at Navy. What a ride it has been in 7.5 seasons. He has Navy on the brink of their greatest season since 1964, when Roger Staubach took them to the Cotton Bowl to take on #1 Texas. They find themselves in Oklahoma tonight. Navy trying to get to 9-1 and 7-0. Dane Evans fires it, and the big target, Kieris Garrett, makes the catch. Ripped away is the football. It's down at the 30. Garrett is down at the 38-yard line, and Navy says they have it. Daquan Thomason fell on the football.
Recovered by the defense, first down.
And the ball's been on the ground 3 times already tonight.
Well, what a great job by Brendan Clements, the cornerback over there. This is a defense that's forced a lot of turnovers. Boy, it looks like Garrett fell on the linebacker, Brandon Jones, and didn't get his body or his knee on the ground, and Clements, with a vicious strip, gives back Navy's offense the ball.
That's one of the cases where usually the offense is happy not to hit the ground and roll over the player. In that case, if any part of him hit the ground, it would be a dead ball.
A great job of being aggressive and not quitting on the play by Clements. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but the Navy defense very underrated this season. They've done a great job of forcing turnovers. And here again, giving their offense back the ball.
Reynolds will throw it. He's got time. He fires a line drive to the sideline for Jameer Tillman, and it's incomplete. Who are these imposters wearing Navy uniforms on offense? I mean, they've put it on the ground twice, and this is their 3rd drive. Normally, they're up a couple scores by now.
Yeah, this isn't indicative of how they start the game. They've been very fast starters so far this season, and they have not put the ball on the ground. Only 4 times, or 4 fumbles they have lost coming into this game, and so far just looks out of sync a little bit.
Reynolds the pitch. Tonio Gully, and Gully is going to go to the 10. Touchdown, Navy. $70 yards on the pitch from Reynolds. Tonio Gully. Now that's the Navy that we've seen all season.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit too soon, but that's kind of what this offense does. And if you want to play defense and have a chance to defend it, well, then you have to be able to get off of blocks. And these slot backs do a great job leading the charge on the outside perimeter game. And that time, Gully, he just hit the home run.
There is a Tulsa player down back at the 32-yard line. So 2 possessions, 2 fumbles, 1 of them lost. And on the 3rd possession, Navy goes for 70 yards. And Jesse Brubaker, the sophomore out of Wiley, Texas, is on his way to the sideline. And you can see his head coach there to greet him, Philip Montgomery. There's so many weapons for Navy. They go so deep in the fullback and the slot back position. Austin Grebe. Greavy's kick is up and good. A flag goes down. It looked like Greavy was hit after the kick. After a 70-yard run from Tennille
Running
Gully.
into the kicker, number 2 of the defense. Penalty will be declined. Extra point is good.
The number 16 team in the country is in Tulsa tonight. Their defense forces a turnover, and the offense goes 70 yards and is on the board and up 7-0.
Well, if you want to play slot back in this Navy option attack, you've got to be able to block. This is a terrific job right there by the slot back, Calvin Cass Jr. coming out and blocking the forced defender right there, Jeremy Brady. He gets Brady to open up that lane, and then Gully, nobody else running from inside out. They got cut off, and Gully showing that he has the speed to, in fact, hit that home run ball.
And, of course, all of that set up. Kieris Garrett stripped of the ball, trying to get a few more yards after the catch. And Gully's longest run of his Navy career. And so Tulsa gets the football back. Sloppy offense on both sides, but Navy he had a big play to take a 7-0 lead. On a night where they try to keep a historic march going. And a line drive kick goes off of Ramad Warren and goes out of bounds. All right, Kieris Garrett is a guy that's had an enormous season, albeit a fumble here tonight.
Well, and look, he's one of the guys that has to play well here tonight. And so far in their first 2 series of the game, remember, he dropped a pass, a slant that was in his hands that could have gave the offense a first down. And then on the very next series of the game, he got the ball stripped. So one of their best players on this football team has to step up and be a major factor in the game for Tulsa to have a chance.
The ball was touched in the field to play on the kick before rolling out of bounds. We need to have the game clock reset to 6:26, 6:26.
And of course, because of that, Ramad Warren not able to handle the kickoff. The ball bounced off him and goes out of bounds. Tulsa ends up getting it at the 2. And so Evans is in his own end zone in the shotgun. And they'll keep it on the ground. This is a Navy defense that needs more national recognition. And up front, Will Anthony, a real good one.
Yeah, one key to their defense is the fact that they've made teams one-dimensional this season. Will Anthony and Bernard Serra, the 2 senior leaders on this team, are the heart and soul of this defense.
Tulsa on the ground. Zach Langer runs into Micah Thomas, the sophomore. And he'll bring up 3rd down. And a long 3.
Rich, I think if you're Philip Montgomery, you have to be pretty disappointed in the way this game has gone, because your defense gave you 2 stops early in this game, and you failed to capitalize offensively. And so for a football team whose defense has struggled doing their part, but shoot, you got to be able to capitalize.
And this time, Connor Floyd hangs on, and Tulsa's got a first down as they move the football out to the 20-yard line.
That's exactly what they needed. Somebody on this team, on this offense, to step up and make a play, backed up in your own territory, and on a key 3rd down, coming down with a slant.
Langer straight ahead. Tulsa trying to slam it forward. The Golden Hurricane can run the football. They've got actually 3 running backs who have combined for 23 rushing touchdowns.
They have had some balance, rushing for 195 yards per game. Tonight, they're going to have to also display great balance offensively.
Little inside bubble look. Josh Atkinson makes the catch, and Atkinson is out to the 35-yard line. And now this is starting to look like Philip Montgomery's offense, the same offense that he ran as the offensive coordinator at Baylor.
Well, the key is they have to keep their rhythm. They cannot afford to have a negative play.
Another quick throw. Atkinson to the 42-yard line. Quincy Adams on the coverage. See, Tulsa's offense, one of the better ones in the American, 3rd overall, but Navy's defense is the best in the conference. And again, straight ahead, shy of the first down. And that was Langer, the senior running back. 3rd down and a yard. Another bubble screen. This one is blown up on the outside by Brendan Clements. It was Clements who forced the fumble that led to the touchdown.
Well, another terrific play outside by Clements, and he beats the block of Kieris Garrett to make the play. And if you're Garrett, you have to be able to make that block. That is your only job on that play, is to give your teammate an opportunity to run with the ball after the catch, and you completely missed the block. So again, 3 series in a row, Kieris Garrett making a play that hurts his offense.
3.5 minutes left, first quarter. Navy up a score. Fair catch called for. Calvin Cass Jr., and he'll make it at the 20-yard line. All right, there's a lot to report in the American, with Temple winning today, taking down Memphis, and then Houston losing for the first time on the road at UConn. It does not affect Navy and Houston, who play next week. They'll play head-to-head, and whoever wins that game will win the West. USF, South Florida, coming on strong at 5-2, just a game behind Temple. Next week, of course, the final week of conference play before the American Championship game. On the pitch, this is Damon Brown, and Brown is outside around the edge, and he's got a 15-yard pickup. Rashawn Ali is the 3rd person on our telecast, and she's down below. Rashawn?
Thank you so much, guys. You know, there have been many words to describe Keenan Reynolds, and selfless is the one that I've been hearing the most. Now, last week, after he broke the FBS record for rushing touchdowns, he decided to take his entire offensive line out for steak dinners. Now, there was one guy who couldn't make it, tackle Joey Gadsden. Well, don't worry, he took him out for milkshakes and hamburgers and fries. And if you ask Keenan why he's so successful, he says it's all about the brotherhood. You play for your man to the left and your man to the right. And guys, it's definitely been showing this season. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Rashawn. And he's been playing with these guys for a while. This is his 4th year. His starting offensive line, 4 seniors tonight and 1 sophomore, Robert Lindsay, the only non-senior on that offensive line. Brandon Green at right tackle, not starting with a toe injury. Reynolds hit, dropped at the 44-yard line. He's 2 yards shy of a first down. Derek Luchin made the stop for Tulsa.
You see tonight that Ivan Jasper, the offensive coordinator, choosing to attack inside a couple times here with his quarterback, feeling that that might be the soft spot in Tulsa's defense.
Now remember, Navy's put it on the ground on a couple of handoffs. One on a 3rd down, and it's 3rd down and 2. Big Chris Swain is behind him, and Swain gets the football, and it looks like he's got the first down. He had to get just across the 46-yard line. And it is a first down for the midshipmen in their first year in the American. That's a whole nother story. I mean, Navy has gone 135 seasons, and this is their first year ever in a conference.
And they've kind of taken it by storm. I mean, the other teams in this conference don't quite know what to do trying to defend this offense.
Trying to get outside is Damon Brown. Ken Niumatalolo, their head coach, told us this week that it was new for him too, because after week 1 of the season, he found himself immediately looking to see what the other teams in the conference did. He started to root for those teams when they played big matchups, something he didn't have to do in his 7 previous seasons.
Head coaches can't root for other teams, Rich.
Yes, they can, as long as they're not playing. And he understands that the higher the bar is set by the league, if Navy can win that league, then a New Year's Six Bowl is a great possibility. And they've done it on the ground, certainly 335 yards What a night for Air Force last night, winning on the blue turf in Boise.
Yeah, both teams having outstanding seasons this year. And look, they're committed to their style of offense. They feel like that is the offense that suits their strengths, what they are good at, and both teams running it at a very high level.
Well, Navy in sync, in rhythm in their offense, and it's Swain over the right side, a gain of 3. Swain is averaging 85 yards a game. You got to have a good, productive fullback to run this triple option and run it well. As well as a guy who's on the periphery of the Heisman voting and gaining a little more momentum with each record-setting week, and that's Keenan Reynolds. Kind of a rough ride in the first quarter for Navy. After a couple balls on the carpet, a 70-yard touchdown run, and the midshipmen are up 7-0. Quarter in, and Navy has a 7-0 lead, and they are on the move. And when these guys get an early lead, Navy knows what to do with it. India Matalolo, who's had such an incredible ride, sits at 8-1. Navy a chance to go to 9-1 and 7-0 in the American. And on the move here at Tulsa's 37. Second quarter starts. Keenan Reynolds at the controls. He'll keep. And Reynolds gets to the next level at the 31-yard line. That's a gain of 6. It's third down and less than a yard.
This offense very content taking 5- and 6-yard gains. And normally you don't want to subject your quarterback, who stands 5'11", 205 pounds, up inside that much. But there's not really anything that they don't feel that he can do running this offense. If the read is to run inside, they're going to run him inside, and also he has the speed to hit the perimeter as well.
On a pitch, Daishin Romine around the corner, and Romine's got a first down. He's out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Well, the challenge that this offense puts on your secondary is getting off of blocks. DeBrandon Sanders, number 21, executes the cut block perfectly on Jeremy Brady, and that's what allows Romine to get to the edge. So as a secondary defender, when you're responsible for the sweep or the pitch element of this offense, the first thing you have to do is understand that somebody is coming to cut you, and you've got to get off that block.
Reynolds pitch, and it's Cass. And he's to the 16-yard line, and that's a gain of 6. The Verizon red zone, just about every offensive number for Air Force is impressive. Look at this touchdown percentage, 76%. The national average just 61%.
Well, when you can count on 4 or 5 yards per carry, whether it's by your quarterback or your fullback or your tailback, you understand that you're able to be in 4-down territory. And there hasn't been much defenses have been able to do to stop those 4 and 5 yard per carry averages.
Second down 5. Caught from behind is Reynolds. Derek Luchin made penetration, and it's no gain. It's third down and 5.
Excellent play by the senior defensive tackle, Derek Luchin, who's been a mainstay here, 34 straight game starter, has had a terrific year, and they're going to have to do a lot more of that penetration into the backfield and stopping the Navy offense for no gain.
Third down 5. Reynolds caught at the 15. He's 4 yards shy. Jeremy Smith made the stop. And Navy's going to bring on their field goal unit, which is very, very good. Austin Grebe, the senior kicker, has had a terrific year. He is 10 of 11.
So far, Rich, I think outside of that big play, and that was a big play because it went for a touchdown, the defense has played a pretty solid game against this offense. You forced 2 fumbles. You were able to get 1, and then you turn away a team that's excellent in the red zone into a field goal opportunity.
And it's an opportunity missed. Wide right. And so another stop, albeit by a missed field goal for Tulsa, and the Navy sideline not happy with a 7-0 lead here in the second quarter. Number 16 Navy on the road and on top in Tulsa. Time now for Going Places, brought to you by Toyota. Okay, they have a great offense at Navy, but they have the best defense in the conference and one of the better ones in the country. Look at the improvement they've made from last year to this year.
Yeah, they really take pride in themselves stopping the run. That's kind of been their calling card. That and taking the ball away. And think about this, as good as their offense is with their efficiency and being able to go on long drives and dominate the time of possession, when you give that offense that many more chances and you're winning the turnover battle, you can see why they've had a recipe for success this season.
No points for Tulsa, but Dane Evans has been accurate so far. D'Angelo Brewer, the sophomore running back, right here in Central High School in Tulsa, ahead for 2 yards. Evans is 7 for 9, 54 yards, and has had a drop as well. Little blitz coming, and Evans is in trouble, and down he goes. Wow, Micah Thomas came screaming through the line. Will Anthony finished him off.
Well, there's one thing that this offense has given up a lot of, and that's sacks. Before that, 29 sacks, now 30 sacks this season. That should have been a very easy blitz pickup. That's just a blown assignment right there by the left tackle flag, and an easy sack for Micah Thomas to come in and get to Evans.
3rd down and 16. There are 3 receivers. There they are, just entering the bottom of your screen, all stacked up. As Tulsa tries to stretch this Navy defense. They're so good in the box. In that front 7. Evans scrambling, looking, behind the line of scrimmage, fires it, and Garris, the intended receiver, good coverage there again. Brendan Clements has had a whale of a game already at the corner spot for Navy.
Yeah, he has. He started 31 games here for Navy's defense, leads the team, 2 interceptions, had that brilliant strip of the football earlier in the game, and that's one place that you would think Philip Montgomery thinks that they have some matchups. They've got to be able to get their wide receivers, who have been hugely productive this season, open and make those one-on-one matchups for Evans to get the ball to him.
A wobbler of a kick, and Navy's going to get great field position inside Tulsa territory. They're going to mark that right at the 39-yard line. Navy's football when we get back. 7-0 midshipmen. Navy on top, 7-0 here in Tulsa on a chilly night in Tulsa. Time to do Game Day Right, brought to you by LG. All right, this goes way back to 10th grade in Hawaii. Ken Niamatalolo and Brian Norwood, best of friends. Norwood moved from Maryland to Hawaii, and Niamatalolo took him under his wing. They became best friends. They actually, on that graduation night, their families shared a graduation party, and they've been best friends for the longest time. They played as teammates at the University of Hawaii. They coached on the Navy staff together as well. And Norwood, as the associate head coach and co-defensive coordinator, is trying to figure out how to slow down this dynamic option attack from the 39. Reynolds will throw with time. Deep ball for Tillman. Caught, held, touchdown. Jameer Tillman. 39 yards.
Rich, they don't do it often, but when they do, usually it's for a big play. And that time, the safety, Jordan Mitchell, got caught with his eyes in the backfield, and Jameer Tillman races past him for another big play for the Navy offense.
And a gorgeous throw by Keenan Reynolds. His 5th touchdown pass. He's not thrown an interception this year. On the ground and in the air, Navy has 2 scores and is up 14-0.
Well, one of the keys to playing safety is you got to have the right eye discipline. That time the safety gets caught up on the quarterback and doesn't see Tillman run right by him. That opens up the middle of the field, and Keenan Reynolds sees his wide receiver streaking down the middle of the field, just has to float it up there. That's an easy touchdown. So you've got to be disciplined with your eyes. You hear about it all the time when you're running up against this type of offense. And 2 big plays so far tonight for Navy. Puts them up by 14 points.
Well executed, well illustrated. And the midshipmen, chance to go 9-1 and a chance to improve their ranking of number 16. They have a lot in front of them, including a road game on Friday night against Houston. If they win that one, they would play in the conference championship game, and then possibly, if everything goes right and they win those games, a New Year's 6 bowl game. Ramadi Warren. Fumble, it's loose, it's picked up behind the play and advanced ahead to the 30-yard line. C.J. Gooden was simply trailing the play, and thank goodness for Tulsa that he was.
Yeah, very fortunate. Ramadi Warren, one of the freshmen here, one of the freshmen here, just gets hit careless with the football, but a nice heads-up play to pick up that football and get some extra yardage.
And so Tulsa now needing to keep their defense off the field and put some points on the board at their own 30 to start this drive. Dane Evans, the junior quarterback, his first year in this system, on a draw to D'Angelo Brewer, and Brewer's across the 40. Brewer still on his feet, down to the 41-yard line. A nice play, the sophomore out of Tulsa.
Delayed draw, and you see as Evans holds the linebackers. A good job blocking up front. And then you see the speed that Brewer has. First in yards with 645 yards, 3 touchdowns this season, and a position that has been hurt by injuries. That was Brewer's chance, but a penalty, Rich, brings it back. And I think that's kind of the story of this game. Navy has played really well on defense tonight, but offensively, this is a very sloppy game for Philip Montgomery's offense.
And so that wipes out a nice gain. The football would have been in Navy territory. Instead, it's backed up to the 20, and it's 1st down and 20. There's no question Evans has a strong arm and an accurate arm. And he hits Josh Atkinson in the letters. It's a gain of 7. Philip Montgomery, in his first year as a head coach, offensive coordinator for Art Briles at Baylor. He was with Briles not only at Baylor, not only at Houston, but also as a high school offensive coordinator in the state of Texas. Evans won't escape. To the 24, Will Anthony, the senior, picks up sack number 3 on the season.
The Navy doing a very good job of taking away the first choice for Evans. And when you break down this offense on tape, I think the one thing and the one place where Evans could improve is when the first option isn't there. He usually doesn't have a backup plan. So getting to that next option is going to be key for him moving this offense here tonight.
And this is an offense that has moved all season long. 526 yards a game. But slowed tonight, Evans is going to keep, got to get to the 40, and he is stoned right there at the 37-yard line. Coming up with a hit is Mike Kelly, the junior who got the start at linebacker tonight. 4th down and 3. And Tulsa right now in the shotgun. Looks like they're going for it. Evans, little slant and a lunge right at the 40. And the officials say first down, but this may be a spot that they review. Tulsa's not going to wait around. They're racing to the line of scrimmage.
Boy, I think this one's very close. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure that he got it. Tyler Goebel, number 54, the linebacker, makes the play, and look at as he stretches that ball. I don't believe it gets.
Boy, where is it, from the stretch or the time where he was on top
The
of
spot
Goebel?
on the previous play is under review. We were paged by the replay booth before the timeout was called by Navy. They are not charged with a timeout.
Yeah, I think here's what happened. I think Atkinson landed on Goebel, and therefore he wasn't down and was able to stretch the ball to get a first down. I don't believe Atkinson's knee or his body touched the ground. You're going to watch him as he rolls over the linebacker Goebel. You see the initial stretch right here, the tackle attempt, and as he takes him to the ground, you see his butt land on his shoulder. Oh, his elbow was down.
So if his elbow was down, the ball was behind the 40, but if they give him that initial stretch as forward progress, and of course, any evidence has to be definitive for them to overrule the spot that was on the field. Tulsa desperately needs something to go right now.
Well, either way, that was a pretty good play by Goebel, the senior, to make a tackle in space on a skilled football player. See, the elbow's down right there, and where his elbow was down, Rich, I don't know. I think the ball was well short. I think his best chance of getting that first down was the initial stretch over the line.
Call on the field was a first down. Tulsa going for it on 4th down and 3.
So see, Rich, his elbow is down, and the ball doesn't get to the line.
So would you give him the initial reach as forward progress, or does the play continue to that point?
I think that's a great question. I'm not sure what this crew is going to say, but this makes it really close.
And that, of course, is the job of the replay official. Evidence has to be definitive for them to overrule the spot on the field, which is right at the 40. And that is a first down. The ball right at the 40-yard line. And I think it's an enormous call for Philip Montgomery and Tulsa. You fall behind Navy by 2 scores, and the way Navy's offense is rolling right now, and you're in for a long night.
Well, and one thing you don't want to do is give them the ball on the 40-yard line.
Again.
A great point.
After review, the runner was down with the ball at the 39.5-yard line. It does not make the line to gain. The ball turns over on downs to Navy. Please reset the game clock to 8 minutes, 14 seconds. 8 minutes, 14 seconds.
So there's your answer. It was the second reach, not the initial reach. The play continued. The elbow was down, as Adam pointed out.
Or what a play by the backup linebacker, Tyler Goebel, on 4th down to make an open field tackle. That was close. I think that one maybe could have gone either way.
Now the reaction from Philip Montgomery. And of course, it's not the officials on the field that the coaches have an argument with. It's the replay officials that overturned it. And here comes Navy now. And breaking loose is Chris Swain, and the big fullback rumbles inside the 20 to the 16-yard line.
Well, here's the thing. It was a great read by Chris Swain, who starts inside and veers right off tackle, breaks multiple tackles in the defensive secondary, and rumbles for a big first down.
Swain again inside the 10. That's another 7 yards. Trent Martin made the stop. He is a big man.
So, Rich, going back to that 4th down, reaching the ball across the line does not count as forward progress. in college football. So where his elbow was down, the ball being short, I think it was a pretty good call.
And as you noted, you don't want to give Navy the football at the 40, and already they're inside the 10. On second down, short of the first down, and it's Swain again. Luchin makes the stop for Tulsa. This is going to be third down and about a yard.
Here's the thing, defensively, you cannot get demoralized. And you cannot allow what's happened so far in this game for Navy's offense to start getting on track.
Quite frankly, the star of the night in this football game is the Navy defense. Third down and 1. Swain on a pitch, breaks a tackle, breaks another, down to the 1.
Hayden Carman, the defensive tackle, number 95, had a chance, Rich, to make that play in the backfield. But we already talked about Chris Swain, 6'1", 245 pounds. And when he gets running with confidence, as he has in this drive, it's going to be tough to stop him in one-on-one. And it shows you the confidence they have in him, not only running him inside, but they're going to give him the ball on the pitch as well and allow him to attack that perimeter.
So Ivan Jasper, the offensive coordinator, he was an option quarterback himself. Reynolds lunges, touchdown, Navy. And for Reynolds, his 82nd career touchdown. He is one shy of Monty Ball for the all-time record at 83. And just like that, Navy on a fourth down stop turns it into a 40-yard drive. So one away is Reynolds from Monty Ball's record. That just a 1-yard plunge. He's also 11 yards away from Napoleon McCallum's school rushing record. It was defense, Tyler Goebel, that set it up. The run by Chris Swain, and Keenan Reynolds finishes it off. Navy is up impressively, 21-0.
Whoa! Brent Stover in New York, Baylor and Oklahoma State. Mason Rudolph connects with James Washington. 39 yards, tied at 14 in the first. Back after Rich Waltz, Adam Archuleta, and Rashawn Ali.
All right, thank you, Brent. And of course, Art Briles, head coach at Baylor, his offensive coordinator, Philip Montgomery, in his first year here at Tulsa. Last 2 seasons, he was the trigger man, so to speak, the offensive coordinator for the Bears. Tulsa has put up big numbers this year, averaging 526 yards. But tonight, mistakes and a great Navy defense. Navy's on top, 21-0.
Rich, I think that's a big part of it. That Navy defense here has come to play in the secondary, at the linebacker spot, and also up front.
Bishop Louis from the 5. Louis busting outside. Cuts back in, out to the 40. Good field position now for the Golden Hurricane as they try to get on the board. Time to go RVing. Our road trip facts. This road trip for Navy takes them to Tulsa, Oklahoma. 3,473, smallest school playing in the FBS level. Rue McClanahan and Lovie Smith. Notable alums, and of course Adam Archuleta. It's not Rue McClanahan you have an affinity for, although maybe you do. It's Lovie Smith, who was near and dear and quite helpful in your professional career.
Yeah, well, it taught me almost everything I know about playing defense, and maybe you learned a thing or two from Rue McClanahan as well, Rich.
That's true. She was not known for a good defense. Second down and 9 for Tulsa, their own 41-yard line. Now Dane Evans has been hurried. He's been sacked. He's hit on some balls. Blitz is coming. Evans throwing. High one. Great catch there. Kieris Garrett, all 6'4" of him, outstretched and hauls it in. And Tulsa right back to work. And straight ahead for 4 yards. D'Angelo Brewer. It is a fast-paced, up-tempo, spread them out, throw it deep offense. Evans pulls it back. Garris over the middle with the catch. And a good pop at the 25. Garris to the 24-yard line. That's a 21-yard pickup. And Garris is slow to get up. The senior out of Dangerfield, Texas.
Well, he took a big shot. By Quincy Adams. The corner goes up high, hits him right there in the shoulder pad, and one of their top playmakers. Now, they got to find a way to get him the ball, and usually in this part of the field is when they like to attack the end zone.
Evans attacks the sideline, fires it out, and it's caught there by Justin Hobbs, the redshirt freshman out of Overland Park, Texas.
Justin Hobbs getting a little bit more action with the injury to Kevin Lucas. And last week had a very big week, 7 catches for 150 yards. Good job pulling down that ball.
On the ground, Zach Langer, the senior. Kieris Garrett is back into the ballgame. Laurentez Barber made the stop for Navy. Tulsa on the move. 2nd down and 7. Langer again with a sore hamstring is inside the 10 to the 8. Bernard Serra made the stop. And 3 defensive linemen for Navy, very good. Will Anthony, Bernard Serra, Amos Mason. There's a look at Mason, who went down early in the game, came off the field. Good to see him back in. Tulsa just 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Play clock running down. Get just outside the 3. High throw, caught at the goal line. Connor Floyd, the senior, just shy of the goal line, and quickly to the line of scrimmage is Evans. Straight ahead with a push from behind. Is it enough to get in? Tulsa trying to beat Navy to the punch.
Well, play before, Rich, a great job by Evans, but watch the snag by Floyd to go up high, get down, protect himself, and convert. That was an excellent job on the pre-snap read by Evans to recognize the defense, but a great snag by the senior wide receiver.
In the pistol, Langer, right side. He's in. Touchdown, Tulsa. Zach Langer from 1 yard out. Tulsa, who's averaging over 36 points a game, has their first points of the night.
Well, how bad did they need that drive to finally get some points on the board? I think you kind of saw a glimpse of what this offense could be, and it should be. The precision, the timing, the decision-making by Evans, and was wide receivers going out there and making some plays, getting some yards after the catch. That was a perfect drive for Evans in the Tulsa offense.
Well, it looks like this play will be reviewed. Scoring play. If you're just joining us, so much on the line here for Navy, trying to keep this historic march. Not sure what you can tell from that angle. Langer initially looking like he was in. Maybe a better look here. I don't know that that angle is definitive. What do you think, Art? You've had 3 looks.
You know, I don't know if you can see for sure, but boy, it doesn't look like he made it. The fact that his back is to the goal line, and that means the ball is basically away from the end line. Again, it's really just kind of a guess because you can't really see, but I wouldn't be surprised here if he was short. Now, there's a point in time here where he kind of disappears, and we can't exactly see where that ball is. But look at where he ends up. That ball is well short where he ends up. Now the question is, was the ball able to break the plane?
The ruling on the field stands. That's called touchdown.
It stands.
And I think that was because there's nothing definitive. You didn't see an angle that showed exactly what happened. So therefore, the call on the field as a touchdown stands.
And Niumatalolo, remember, had that great reaction on the last review, which went Navy's way, and that helped fuel that last Navy touchdown drive. Extra point is good. So much going on in college football tonight. The Verizon halftime report should be a good one, coming up with Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Christian Fourier in our New York studio, up to speed on all the games going on right now. Oh, you got Baylor, Oklahoma State. You got Boston College and Notre Dame at Fenway. TCU at number 7, Oklahoma. Later on tonight, the big game out west, Cal at Stanford. As well, they'll check in on the Nissan Heisman Watch. Arch, what you got?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting race. Leonard Fournette, early in the season, we thought was going to be a runaway. I love the way Derrick Henry has basically taken over November and played in his biggest games. Ezekiel Elliott is about as consistent as it gets at running back. And boy, Baker Mayfield is putting Oklahoma on the map and is a big reason why I think is we're going to unveil later that Oklahoma might be one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Is Keenan Reynolds in your others receiving votes category?
Yeah, absolutely. He deserves to be in the discussion. Is he going to be the Heisman Trophy winner? Not so sure, but certainly has proven that he is one of the best football players in the country.
So Navy will have the football at their own 22-yard line. Tyler Carmona on the return. Break down Week 11 in the NFL. Full set of former pro quarterbacks. NFL Monday quarterback delivered by FedEx. Monday, 5:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network.
Where it's just drive so important for both teams, especially Tulsa, if you want to get back in this game, because remember, they took the ball to start the game. And so now Navy, you just can't allow them to drive down the field and get the last touchdown of the half, especially when they get the ball in the third quarter.
Keenan Reynolds, and Reynolds is out to the 30-yard line. Now that's a 9-yard pickup. As they crunch the numbers, he's 2 or 3 yards shy of Napoleon McCallum's school record. So he needs just a couple yards to set the all-time rushing record at Navy. 2 away officially, we're told. Chris Swain gets the first down. Reynolds, who has had 4 terrific years. As a starter, he is 29-12. He needs 2. He'll throw it. He has a touchdown throw, and he gets sacked and swallowed up at the 25-yard line, and that's going to be a loss of 7.
First time out of the first half.
Derek Alexander with the sack.
A good job by the right side of the defensive line, Derek Alexander and Uwezoke, just getting penetration and getting to Reynolds. That's exactly what you have to do. Rich, you got to be able to put the Navy offense well behind the chains, just because they do such a good job of gaining those 3, 4, 5-yard runs. and put them in a predictable throwing situation if you want to have a chance to stop them. But if you allow them 3 or 4 yards on first down, well, they're just going to eat you up the entire game.
Every week a new record. Every week Keenan Reynolds' family is on camera because he's about to eclipse another major mark. Although with that sack, he actually loses yardage. So he's 9 shy of Napoleon McCallum.
That's a bummer.
Last week it was the rushing touchdown record. He is 1 touchdown shy now. He has scored tonight. He's 1 touchdown shy of the all-time NCAA record. Monty Ball of Wisconsin, the fine running back, who had 83. Reynolds has 82. This is Chris Swain, and now if you're Tulsa,
you got to start thinking about timeouts.
Especially since Navy, as you pointed out, has the football to start the second half.
Well, that's what getting that big stop on first down, the big sack, allows you to do, is now you're in a 3rd and long, a predictable passing situation. You had all 3 timeouts left. Now, if you get a stop here, this offense, it's been one of the best quick strike offenses in the country, gets the ball back with a little bit of time on the clock.
Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS Spotlight. Regional action. Local listings. Check them. Starts with your Super Bowl 50 team, JV, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer. NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines. Speaking of the Super Bowl, let's go back to Super Bowl 21. Navy wide receiver Phil McConkey. 6-yard touchdown pass. Phil Simms. Giants won that Super Bowl 39-20 with an assist from Mark Bavaro. Navy tries to dial something up on 3rd down and 16. They'll keep it simple and see if Tulsa will burn the timeout once Swain hits the deck, and they do. So Tulsa has a timeout remaining. They burn one here.
The first half called by Tulsa. 30 seconds timeout.
A 30-second timeout. Navy's lead is at 21-7. Tulsa scoring on their last possession. And Navy will get the football to start the second half. And you could see just watching Philip Montgomery, Tulsa is desperately looking for any kind of momentum they can grasp.
Well, they did a good job. Their last drive, the offense looked pretty good. And I think that's what he's looking for, consistency. And his defense, a few times here tonight, have stood up to the Navy offense and turned them away.
Connor Floyd is deep. Alex Barta with the kick. And it's a low liner. That takes a great bounce for Navy all the way inside the 25 and down to the 23. So 77 yards to go for Tulsa, and they've got 1:03 to work with. Icy Hot brings you the injury report. Tulsa's got a lot of weapons. One of them is missing. Kevin Lucas, 26 catches, 5 touchdowns, and that was in only 4 games before his season was ended.
Yeah, they miss him. He was their best football player, their best leader, always seemed to step up in tight games. And they had a really nice 1-2 combination between Garrett and Lucas.
All ready to run?
Tulsa's had some big plays to end first halves this year. Evans in trouble, and he's sacked and down. Will Anthony got him. Ball is loose. Whistle has it down back at the 11.
Ruling on the field is that the runner was down. 2nd down.
3rd sack of the game.
Well, great job by Will Anthony. You're going to see him come over off of this side, completely dominates the tight end over there, and gets to Evans.
Brings up 2nd down and 22. Clock is restarted, and now it's down to just half a minute. And now
Prior
the officials...
to the snap, the ruling on the field of the runner being down is under review.
Wow. Prior to the snap, apparently the replay booth called down to see if that was a fumble before the sack was completed. Yeah, I think you go back to the forearm or the elbow being down.
Well, yeah, that was close. I think you can see right there his forearm is down before the ball has moved. I think it's a good job by the boot to ring down there because that was pretty close, and that could have been a huge turnover in Navy's favor. But I think just by a hair, that elbow goes down.
It's the hard thing when that call goes against you and you're on defense. You have no way to slow or speed up the game to influence whether the, and that's a whole nother question, whether you should be able to do that, whether the call comes down from the replay booth. But what's happened here is half a minute has expired from the clock.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down by forward progress. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands.
But certainly not a lot of time. And now almost 90 yards to go for Tulsa. Second down, 22. A draw, D'Angelo Brewer. And he's caught at the 19-yard line. And of course, Navy going to get the football first in the second half. Bad snap. Evans picks it up, drops it, it's loose, and it goes through the end zone. And that's going to be a safety. A disastrous turn of events for Tulsa. A bad snap. Tulsa was trying to get the play off to beat the clock.
Yeah, what a disaster before halftime. Chandler Miller, the freshman center, one of two freshmen on this offensive line, doesn't even give Evans a chance. That ball just dribbles back there. Evans doing everything he can. They're very fortunate that that wasn't a touchdown.
Boy, Tulsa felt they had some momentum, they had a chance and some time on the clock, and this last minute has been awful for the Golden Hurricane.
Well, Rich, you were there in our meetings yesterday, and Philip Montgomery talked about how young they were on offense, and last week in critical situations, they had as many as 5 freshmen playing at one time, and here on this drive, 2 mistakes by freshmen. The first one, Willie Wright, the tackle, giving up a big sack, and then Chandler Miller with a bad snap, giving Navy 2 points.
As we've told you, Navy has the football to start the second half, and Tulsa finally getting a score, thinking possibly they could get more points before the half ended. Gives up 2 points. And now they have to kick it, the free kick coming, with just 4 seconds left in the half. And I'm not sure what beef Philip Montgomery has on that play. I don't think the ball was illegally batted or kicked. Certainly wasn't down. Well, Tulsa has had a couple of big plays. They've hit a couple Hail Marys at the end of first halves, but this is certainly the opposite result on the safety. And Calvin Cass Jr. will take a knee. And so Navy trying to keep that march towards a conference championship and a possible New Year's Six Bowl in the first half. Impressive 23-7 lead. Ken Niamatalolo is down with Rashawn Ali. Rashawn?
Coach, your defense has been very sound. What's been the key to their execution?
We're just trying to, like you said, we're trying to play sound. You know, don't get too complicated. Guys are executing well. We got to pick it up on offense, though, but our defense is playing phenomenal right now.
Well, you get the ball at the start of the second half. How are you going to keep that offensive rhythm?
We just got to do our job. You know, we're getting a little out of character and, you know, doing stuff that we normally don't do. We just need to relax and play.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
All right, thank you, Rashad. The midshipmen are in Tulsa and up at the half, 23-7, trying to get to 9-1, trying to get to 7-0, trying to get to the championship of the American and a New Year's Six Bowl. The Verizon halftime report is coming up. You're watching college football right here on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Back on a chilly night in Tulsa, number 16 Navy, a 23-7 halftime lead. Rich Waltz along with Adam Archuleta. Navy's on a historic run right now. Keenan Reynolds, of course, is their headliner, but I thought it was the defense that was the star of the first half.
Absolutely. The Navy defense stole the show in that first half. And look, Tulsa did a really good job defensively early stopping Navy, something a lot of teams have not been able to do, but it's been the individual effort by that defense. It's been all over the field that really hasn't allowed Tulsa to get any momentum offensively.
You're right. Tulsa had 3 stops in the first 4 possessions of Navy, but, you know, Navy on the board first. Keenan Reynolds on a pitch, and Taneo Gully goes to the house.
Well, Navy started to get on the board via big plays. The first one, that 70-yard run by Gully to break things open, and then their very next drive, a play-action pass, fooling the defense, getting the ball to Jameer Tillman. Tulsa capitalized, and Langard punches it in, finally got some momentum, and then right before halftime, disaster struck. A bad snap, and then Dane Evans has no choice but to fumble the ball out of the end zone for a safety right before halftime. And I think, Rich, when you look at this, you expect those kind of rushing yards from Navy, but look, only 8 yards rushing for Tulsa. That's not going to get it done. They're going to have a little bit more balance than that. And Tulsa has not stopped the number 1 guy you have to stop, and that is the fullback. Chris Swain is having a terrific first half for the Navy offense.
Those are Quicken Loan first half stats. Let's go down below. Rashawn Ali. Rashawn?
Well, guys, I had a chance to talk to Coach Montgomery. I said, how do you get your offense rolling? He said, we have to calm down and relax and do what we do. Then I said, what was your message to the team? He said, that was the message. Calm down. Let's play series to series. Look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game and see how it all plays out, guys.
Well, right now, Navy is a half away from running their record to 9-1 and 7-0 and continuing to build a very nice postseason resume, leading into that showdown with Houston. Geico presenting college football tonight on CBS Sports Network in Tulsa. Temperatures in the 40s. High winds this morning. The wind has let up and just about disappeared. Keenan Reynolds continues his march towards a couple of enormous records. He's 1 shy, touchdown-wise, of Monty Ball of Wisconsin. Ball at 83, Reynolds now at 82 for the all-time touchdown mark in FBS and NCAA history. And he's 11 yards shy of Napoleon McCallum's Academy rushing record. This is Romine, and Romine breaks loose. Romine to the 30, Romine to the 10, and he's caught, and he's dropped. Dyson Romine, the junior out of Louisville, with a big-time return, and Navy's on the doorstep.
Well, not very good job in coverage by the Tulsa kickoff coverage team. Really, Romine only has to beat the kicker. That's the only move that he has to put on anybody. It was a great hustle to get him down and not get into the end zone, but to start the second half like that and give Navy the ball inside the 10-yard line is a brutal way for Philip Montgomery's football team to come out after halftime.
How about that? Dyson Romine, the junior, is averaging a little over 27 yards a game on the ground, shining on special teams, and now Keenan Reynolds and the Navy offense, as if they need any help, sit at the 8-yard line of Tulsa. Reynolds keeps inside the 5 to the 4. Will Barrow made the stop for Tulsa. Our sonic profile of Keenan Reynolds in the first half. 63 yards rushing. And 1 touchdown pass, that 39-yard throw to Jameer Tillman. Pitch, Brown on the move. Brown in the end zone. Touchdown, Navy.
Easy work, Rich, when you get the ball to start inside the 10-yard line. But another great job by DeBrandon Sanders, the slot back, who led the way and essentially took out 2 Golden Hurricane defenders. And that was an easy touchdown for Navy to quickly get on the board in their first possession after the half.
Well, Ivan Jasper, the offensive coordinator, said, look, if you can block, you can play in this offense. Damon Brown into the end zone. Keenan Reynolds and Navy. Anchors away indeed. Navy up big. Keenan Reynolds and the triple option may be the headliners, but it's this defense of Navy that may take them to a New Year's 6 game.
Well, they came out swinging here at the beginning part of the game. Brandon Clements stripping a fumble, getting off the block on a 3rd down, making a big play. And then Will Anthony, their top pass rusher, coming off the edge right before halftime that led to a safety before the half. And I think, boy, when you look at it, Tulsa came into this game averaging 195 yards rushing per game. And the fact that they've only had 8 yards rushing in the first half, you gotta love the job that Dale Fearson, the defensive coordinator, has done with this Navy defense.
And of course, he's standing in for Buddy Green, the fine longtime defensive coordinator who had neck surgery, is still a part of this defense. And the combination of Green and Pearson, maybe the best overall defense in the American. Bishop Louis for Tulsa, who's in need of a big play, and Tulsa's out to the 31-yard line. If you're charting Tulsa, what do you see?
Well, I see missed opportunities. You got a fumble right there that you had a chance. You got the ball back right there after your defense stopped Navy, and then a big fumble, and that's just inefficiency. I mean, they've done just a terrible job. They only had 1 promising drive in that very first half where they were able to go down the field and score a touchdown, but it's been error after error, and I think their playmakers have to step up and make plays for this offense.
D'Angelo Brewer, and Brewer's out to the 37-yard line. Well, their quarterback, Dane Evans, has a big arm, and numbers don't always tell the whole story, but you look at his first half numbers. He was 13 of 16 for 113 yards. He was sacked 3 times, a good pump fake, and then gets it around the defender. Connor Floyd makes the catch. It's a first down for Tulsa.
That second time, Connor Floyd has made a couple good catches here tonight. But the key is that they've got to be able to protect Evans. Too much action in the offensive backfield for Tulsa.
Floyd again inside Navy territory, inside the 45. And that's a 12-yard pickup. Floyd is a senior out of Austin, Texas. There are some incredible numbers on this Tulsa offense. Kearis Garrett, well over 70 catches. Josh Atkins in the mid-50s. Floyd in the mid-30s. Justin Hobbs is close to 30 catches on the year. And of course, Kevin Lucas, we talked about, in 4 games, had 26 catches and 5 touchdowns.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of this offense, and this is what, you know, Art Briles and Philip Montgomery, the way they kind of put this offense together. It's all about the quarterback identifying matchups pre-snap and then getting it to that right guy. So it could be anybody who has a big game.
In stride, Josh Atkinson, the catch. What did Montgomery tell us? That he wants Evans to be a point guard. He wants to be the distributor of the football.
It's all about finding those matchups, and here tonight, that's been their most successful pass play. It's been the slant over the middle, something that Navy, really the only play that Navy has had a hard time trying to defend.
Bernard Serra comes back in at the nose guard spot for Navy. Draw play, Brewer to the 15. Close to a first down. It's a 10-yard pickup. Mike Kelly makes the stop for Navy. Tulsa trying to climb out of a 23-point hole against the number 16 team in the country. And of course, that's number 16 in the college football playoff rankings, as everybody in college football has shifted from the AP poll to the playoff rankings. Straight ahead on the carry is Zach Langer.
It's a good, productive drive, and this is exactly how they had to answer that first touchdown by Navy. But the key is you got to find a way to get a touchdown.
To the sideline, it's caught there. Atkinson inside the 5, and he's down to the 4. And Dane Evans and Tulsa moving now. Verizon red zone. They've been in once. They've scored once. And they'll give it to the big man Langer, and he's in for the touchdown. So first touch for Tulsa, an impressive touchdown drive, but a long way to go tonight. Langer out of nearby Jenks High School, one of the power schools.
Completely washed down Navy's defensive front, and then it was just the power of Langer to get to the end zone. A great drive to start the third quarter for Tulsa's offense as they try to get back in this game.
Extra point is good. So the Tulsa offense is starting to gel. Navy, though, number 16 in the country, on top. Zach Langer takes it in. And the Golden Hurricane showing signs of life. Chilly night in Tulsa. And Zach Langer, the senior, takes it in. 68 yards, impressive drive. Dane Evans, Tulsa's quarterback, has been on the mark whenever he's had time, and he certainly was that on that drive. The challenge now is for Tulsa to pry it out of the hands of that man's offense.
And of all the things, the great things that Navy's defense has done this year, it's been kind of the one part of their Achilles heel is, for whatever reason, coming out after halftime, they just haven't done a very good job. And there you see 4 games in a row allowing the first drive of the third quarter to end in a touchdown.
Tyson Romine went 93 yards on his last return. It wasn't for a score, but it set up the last touchdown. And now the challenge is on the Tulsa defense. Don't miss Creed, starring Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone. And is coming up this Thanksgiving. Fight for your name. And so now here is Navy. And this could be a record-setting drive here for Keenan Reynolds, who pitches to Brandon Sanders, who, as Adam has noticed, done a terrific job blocking tonight, gets a chance to carry it. That's kind of the deal, the pact that Ivan Jasper makes with the slot backs and the running backs. You block, that means you're A, going to play, and B, going to carry the ball. And Jasper was also a quarterback and a slot back at Hawaii. And of course, one of the common threads, another pitch, and it's Sanders. Of course, Paul Johnson was the head coach there. Had a great run reviving Navy. Now is at Georgia Tech. And Niamatalolo, great player, quarterback himself at Hawaii, and an offensive coordinator next to Paul Johnson at both Hawaii and Navy. And it's very similar to Air Force, who has a whole lineup of ex-quarterbacks on their coaching staff. What an impressive win last night for Air Force at Boise. The academies are having a pretty good year, Air Force and Navy.
Yeah, it's pretty outstanding. You know, Air Force is going to get a chance next week to play for the Mountain West Championship. Or not next week, but they will get a chance to play in the Mountain West Championship game. And Navy controls their own destiny here in the American Athletic Conference if they take care of business against Houston next week to represent in their championship game as well.
They're down at a yard, wide pitch. Romine has the first down, and he's out to the 48-yard line. It really is a challenging 2-week span starting tonight for Navy. On the road against this high-powered offense in Tulsa. They have a Friday night game at Houston, and that decides who goes to the championship game. And if they win that game, they go to the championship game.
Yeah, it's been quite the season, and I think tonight maybe they started out a little bit sloppy offensively here in the very first quarter of the game, but it looks like they're peaking at the perfect time. And boy, next week is going to be an outstanding game, an exciting game against Houston.
Reynolds, yardage has been tough to come by for Reynolds tonight. He's still about 10 yards shy of Napoleon McCallum's school record.
I think, Rich, Tulsa has done a good job in a lot of areas defensively. You know, they really have made Navy work. Now, they've given up 2 big plays, and they've had poor field position. And that's really been the difference in the game. But they've done a lot of good things against Navy's offense so far in this game.
Inside handoff to Cass, and Calvin Cass is loose to the 20, hauled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Another big hit for the Navy offense.
So usually, you know, when you compliment the defense, what do they do the very next play? They give up a big play. And boy, what a terrific job right there. Just reading the blocks up inside. Calvin Cass Jr., who had a big block to spring his running mate, Tonio Gully, on his 70-yard touchdown run. Another big play for Navy's offense.
Well, you go all the way up and down the backfield in the depth chart. Romine's had a big play. Gully's had a big play. Sanders, Brown, Swain, now Cass. This is Swain. Excuse me, it's Quentin Ezell who's in for this snap. And Ezell is inside the 5, down to the 3. And of course, the parents of Keenan Reynolds are hoping for either a touchdown, which would tie Monty Ball, the all-time touchdown record, or another 10 yards of rushing, which would pass Napoleon McCallum on the Navy all-time rushing list. Ezell trying to find the end zone, and the big guy does. Into the end zone. And Navy has scored again. So add Ezell to that long list of guys in the backfield that have shined tonight.
They have so many ways. And, you know, most of the plays look exactly alike. But they have so many different little nuances in how they run these plays. And they attack you from so many different ways. And the real challenge outside of playing one-on-one football is just dealing with all the different blocking schemes and the different players that are coming to block you. And as the course of a game goes on, they just wear you out.
Extra point is good. And Navy just keeps rolling. 37-14. Can anybody slow down the midshipmen? Tulsa's had a couple of impressive touchdown drives. However, this drive is looking at 4th down and 2. With the ball sitting at the 40, got to get to the 42-yard line. Adam Archuleta, what you dial up if you're Philip Montgomery?
Well, unfortunately, you don't really have much of a run game. And so they've done a lot of empty here. No backs in the backfield trying to get the quick passing game, and that has been a strength of their offense. Now, the key for Dane Evans is he's got to get that ball out of his hand on time. Anytime he double clutches, it usually hasn't worked out for his offense.
Empty backfield. 5 receivers. Navy rushes 3, and he goes right to Connor Floyd, who makes the catch. It's a 5-yard pickup and a first down for Tulsa.
See, I like the decisiveness of Evans right there. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, and he delivered an accurate ball. Another good catch outside by his wide receiver.
Swing it out, Brewer. And that play blown up there.
You know, one thing that I don't think Tulsa has done a good job tonight, and that's blocking on the perimeter. And right there, Josiah Powell, the outside linebacker for Navy, getting off the block, but you really didn't give your running back any chance to do something with the ball in his hands.
Evans flushed and throws it away. Will Anthony, a nice job of coming off the edge and then containing that outside.
I like, you know, you watch Navy and their defense, they play with a lot of confidence and they play aggressively. And you can see why they've been so successful this season, doing a good job taking care of the opposing team's running game. But again, I think the secondary proving tonight that they can hold up their end of the deal as well.
That's why I think if Navy's able to get through these next 3 games and get to a New Year's Six bowl, they will be a nightmare to play. This defense is very, very good. Underappreciated, underreported, and right now eating Tulsa alive. Anthony again.
Will Anthony is just eating up number 90, splitting the guard in the center. He's just eating this Tulsa offense up. He has had an outstanding game here so far tonight. You can see why he is one of their leaders and a rock up there for their defensive line. They can't block number 90 up front.
And that's the 4th sack for Navy up front. Calvin Cass Jr. with a fair catch at the 24. Of course, last week, and it seems like every week, there's a new record that falls for Keenan Reynolds. Reynolds last week against SMU, plunging into the end zone. He had 4 touchdowns to stretch his total to 81. He has a touchdown tonight, so he's at 82, 1 behind Monty Ball of Wisconsin. And he is right behind Napoleon McCallum for the all-time Navy rushing lead. Navy keeps it on the ground, and it's Chris Swain to the 29-yard line.
I think you can anticipate a heavy dose of these fullbacks right here, because Ken Niumatalolo would love nothing more than to run as much clock as possible. Now, he'll take the big plays, but you better believe that they just want to grind this thing out.
Reynolds the pitch. Brown getting outside and close to the first down. He needed 5, and he's right on the sticks. Jeremy Brady made the stop.
It's so difficult as a defensive player, again, to Brandon Sanders, the slot back, just doing a great job of getting the lead block right there. And if you don't get what it does is it buys the other back so much time and doesn't allow that forced defender to come up there and make a play. But that is the key to the Navy perimeter run game.
1 shy of Napoleon McCallum and the all-time Navy record. Reynolds to put it up, fires a dart, and it's right on the money. Chad Llewellyn the catch, cross midfield into Tulsa territory. Reynolds has not had a great year throwing the football, just 48%. But he had that 39-yard touchdown throw, which was a beauty, and this one was on the money.
It's all you need. And really what it is the element of surprise. Anytime they get to a predictable passing situation, usually it hasn't worked out. But when they throw the ball on the early downs, that's when they test that eye discipline of the opposing secondary.
Reynolds will keep it, and he's got 3 yards. And so that nudges him past Napoleon McCallum. The all-time Navy rushing leader is Keenan Reynolds.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment, Rich. When you think of, you know, these rushing offenses that Navy has had over the years, and boy, 4,182 yards. Pretty impressive by number 19.
Just don't take a sack now. On the pitch, Romine. And another healthy pickup. That's a 10-yard gain. Trent Martin made the stop for Tulsa. Navy just ripping off 6, 8 yards every carry.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get 2 or 3 players inside trying to tackle the fullback. And you just, the one thing is, and you go back and you watch Tulane, they were pretty successful stopping Navy's offense. Only 133 yards rushing in that game. And what you saw was a defense that trusted itself and was very aggressive and did a great job of getting off blocks and tackling. Tulsa's had a hard time tonight.
Reynolds will keep it, and Reynolds is inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Jeremy Smith, and a fight breaking out at the 20-yard line near the Tulsa sideline. And the officials trying to separate the players. Kerwin Thomas, the sophomore corner, coming off the sideline. Kenia Matalolo getting in the ear of Jameer Tillman. And that's some tough love right now.
One thing that I think they're not going to stand for here, you can see Kerwin Thomas not very happy right there with Jameer Tillman.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 4 of Navy. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 2 for Tulsa. The fouls will offset. This is the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for each player.
And so Tillman is out of the game. Thomas is out of the game. I don't think either was ejected. I think both head coaches decided better to get him to the sidelines. I mean, there's so much to play for Navy next week against Houston. If they win that game, they could win the conference championship. This is their first year ever in a conference. The 135th year of football at the Naval Academy. And 3 quarters tonight here in Tulsa. Keenan Reynolds continues to set records. Now the all-time rusher in Navy history. Navy is number 16 in the country and playing like it tonight. Yeah, well, 37-14. Maybe not a quick start offensively in the first quarter, but they've been rolling since late in that quarter. And they're on the move here. Keenan Reynolds, record-setting quarterback, and starting to get some Heisman love. The senior, who scored a touchdown on a little reverse pitch. And racing down the sidelines is Brandon Colon, and Colon is in. How about that? A little wrinkle to the triple option.
You always have to be ready. And you really would not expect Colon to be the guy to run that play. Jeremy Smith, number 98, the defensive end, who was responsible for contain over there on that left side, had a chance to tackle him in the backfield. But another missed tackle, and there was just no inside pursuit from Tulsa's defense. Navy has just gashed the defense here tonight with big plays in every single facet of the game.
Navy at 450 yards of total offense. Close to 400 of those on the ground. Extra point is up and good. Brandon Colon on the pitch from Keenan Reynolds. Triple option, think he got it covered. 21 yards later, Navy's in the end zone again. Tulsa beat Wichita on Tuesday, taking down the number 9 team in the country. They were down a bunch, 19 points midway through the second half. Shaq Harrison and the rest of the Golden Hurricane. Frank Haith has got his team at 5-0. An impressive night for Navy. Bishop Louis for Tulsa takes a knee. Tulsa staring at a 44-14 deficit. We're just underway in the fourth quarter in Tulsa.
You know, they have a lot of work to do here if they even want to have a chance to do anything. And you just got to credit the job that Navy's defense has done against this offense.
All right, if you want to follow along with this, Houston and Navy next week. The loss by Houston today doesn't affect the chance that if they beat Navy next week and that game is in Houston, Houston will go to the championship game. And to get to a New Year's Six, you have to be the highest ranked conference champion. And so you got to win your conference championship, and it's the highest rated of those conference champions from the group of 5 that gets to join the Power 5 in a New Year's Six. I know that's a bit confusing. Temple and South Florida. South Florida beat Temple, and so if Temple loses next week, they play UConn, who beat Houston today. Temple has a chance to get to that American Championship game. There's the Power 5. There's the Group of 5. There's the New Year's Six Bowl. And that's only for FBS, not for FCS, though they do have a championship now in FBS. That's the language of college football in this day and age.
I like Division I, Division II. Rich, that makes it easy.
That was
right?
a simpler time, Arch, when you were a Sun Devil at Arizona State.
We didn't need, there's no such thing spread on, no such thing as a spread offense. When men played, right?
Oh, yeah, no, listen to you. Come on. It wasn't that long ago that you were a Sun Devil and then a very successful career in the National Football League. And you'll be happy to know your Sun Devils beat Arizona in a big rivalry game, 52-37.
Well, at least they did something right this season. It's been a tough year.
How many times in your 4 years there did you hoist that trophy?
Well, you count my redshirt year, I'm 3-2. You count the years that I played, we're 2-2.
Okay, that one's loose. Navy has forced another turnover, it looks like. They fall on the ball at the 28-yard line. Is that Amos Mason underneath that pile? It is.
On the field is a fumble.
Remember, Mason was first on the scene with that fumble near the end zone that turned into a safety.
It was a great one-on-one stick by the free safety, Daquan Thomason, who took over as the free safety against Notre Dame for Quanzel Bertrand. Nice stick right there, helmet on the football to give Navy another turnover.
Somewhere Buddy Green is smiling, and Dale Pearson, the defensive coordinator tonight, doing a fine job. Well, the headset and the red ball cap means that Keenan Reynolds is done for the night. About to go 30-12 as a starter. His night tonight, Adam Archuleta.
Yeah, it was a workmanlike day, not the flashiest of performances. 19 carries, 81 yards, the longest of the night, 13 yards. But he did make it count through the air as well, hitting a big play to his wide receiver down the field and just orchestrating this offense. And of course, breaking the all-time rushing record here at Navy.
And one shy of Monty Ball, the all-time touchdown record now with that one touchdown tonight. And he has a ton of football in front of him. A game against Houston. You've got the American Championship, and oh, there's that game against Army that is, you know, a rather large game on the horizon as well. That's on the 12th of December in Philadelphia. Tago Smith is in at quarterback. And Smith of Fayetteville, Georgia. Running the option now. So he could play in 4 more games if Navy ends up winning next week and getting to that championship game, and he stays healthy, obviously. And boy, wouldn't he love to end his career, Keenan Reynolds, in a New Year's Six bowl that, in all likelihood, the group of 5 representative would play in the Chick-fil-A Peach or the Fiesta Bowl versus, obviously, a Power 5 team. Tago Smith. And Smith is to the 42-yard line. Let's head to Brent Stover in New York on updates. Baylor, Oklahoma State.
Jarrett Stidham is injured, so the third stringer, Chris Johnson, in for Baylor, connects with Jay Lee. 525 yards of total offense for Baylor, early third, drilling Oklahoma State, guys.
Wow, my goodness. Remember, Baylor was the last team out of the college football playoff last year. And they're trying to barge their way back in.
You know what? The way the Big 12 is going to be very, very fascinating, the way things kind of shake out here in the last 2 weeks of the season.
And of course, 2 big ball games going on in this state with Oklahoma at home against TCU, Oklahoma State and Baylor. I know it's hard to think about life after Keenan Reynolds, but you have to do that at Navy. You've got so many seniors in that offense, especially the offensive line. Reynolds himself in the backfield with Sanders, Brown, Swain, Ezel. But it's not like those guys are just going to fade off into the sunset. They all receive their service assignments. The class of 2016.
Call by Tulsa. Timeout on the field.
And that is the assignment you get as a midshipman and where you're headed. We're headed to break in Tulsa. Navy up big. Number 16, Navy, a 44-14 lead here in the American in Tulsa tonight. Our Geico difference makers tonight. We start with Zach Langer of Tulsa, 69 yards, a couple touchdowns on 15 carries. And on the other side, Keenan Reynolds, who passes Napoleon McCallum, the all-time rusher in Navy history. So Keenan Reynolds will sit the rest of this one out. Reynolds' assignment for the service assignment he received is for information warfare. So that's the department that he goes to next year. That was a big day for the senior class, the class of 2016. Some pilots, some surface warfare, submarines. Chris Swain, the big fullback, gets an assignment of surface warfare. Arch, if you could choose an assignment in the Navy, I'm laying it all out for you. I've got information warfare, naval flight officer. I think you'd look good in a uniform, by the way. Navy pilot.
You know, it would be interesting. I think being able to fly planes would be a lot of fun. But there's just something about being a SEAL. I think that if you had the chops and you had a chance to go through that kind of training and be trained at that level, I think that would be a special thing to be able to accomplish.
24 the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
William Huntsman got the assignment of Special Warfare SEAL. It's quite an honor, and obviously in the bigger picture of things, it sometimes makes the accomplishments on the field seem small.
Well, yeah, that's when real life kind of starts, right? I mean, it's easy to go out there and play a football game, but then you know, real life starts to happen, and that's where these guys, you know, really get to step up.
And that's one of the things that Navy has to really take into account this next week, and that is with their schedule, they don't miss much class at all. They play this game here in Oklahoma, fly home, get home tomorrow morning, practice on Monday, practice on Tuesday, a quick practice on Wednesday, and then they're in the air and back in this direction to play in Houston. It's a Friday night game. They'll have a Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday night. Travel Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, play Houston on Friday. Smith upended from behind. So that's a short week in preparation for their biggest game of the year, which will be for the right to play in the American Championship game.
Yeah, I think it's a tough week, but these guys, they're so regimented in their entire schedules, their entire lives from the moment they stepped onto this campus, on and off the field, has been so structured that I can't think that it's going to bother them too much. And something tells me that this football team is going to get geared up to play a pretty good Houston football team and with a chance to control their own destiny.
Well, as we hear from Air Force, we hear it from Army, we've heard it from Navy, the most fun they have in their daily routine is football practice. And you put a road trip on top of that, and that's a special treat. The odd dynamic, and it's 4th down now, Army is always on the, I mean, that's the big game, right? That's the game. This is the first time that Navy's ever been in a conference. 135 years of football. And it's the first time they're playing for a conference championship. They have a chance to play in a New Year's Six, a major bowl, for the first time since 1964, when Roger Staubach took the midshipmen into the Cotton Bowl and faced #1 Texas. Texas won that game 28-6. Roger Staubach set 3 Cotton Bowl passing records that day. And I think Navy is going to punt. Playing in the New Year's Six Bowl, that's the dream of everyone for a group of 5. Here are the favorites. Now, highest ranked conference champion. You've got to win your conference championship. Houston lost to UConn.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
But Houston can still win the championship if they beat Navy next week and then win the American Championship game the week following. And they would have a pretty good chance of being the highest rated college football playoff rankings. And if none of those teams are in the top 25 of the college football playoff rankings, Arch, you go to the computers.
Everybody's favorite, right?
Yeah. 7.5 left in this one in Tulsa. It's 44-14. Navy. 100 yards last week.
No, I think there's a good chance that they're going to have a pretty good night. UNLV defensively struggling this year with stopping the run. But you know what's going to be interesting to me is watching San Diego State in their defense play Air Force in that Mountain West Championship game and seeing how if they have what it takes to stop their style of the triple option attack. I think that'll be intriguing.
Another swing pass, and it's Brewer to the 17-yard line. I don't think I've ever done this. Sent to the studio for a college football update from Fenway Park. Let's go to Brent Stover in New York.
That's right, Rich. Deshaun Kaiser to Chris Brown, 12-yard touchdown, missed PAT. But Notre Dame leads BC in Boston, 16-3, guys.
All right, thank you, Brent. They've got the college football scoreboard arch up on the Green Monster.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That used to be the home of the Boston Patriots long ago. That one incomplete, and flags come down. Justin Hobbs, the intended receiver. Bruce Clark, our producer, adding that Notre Dame might be the Green Monster for the college football playoff. That was a good one. 44-14. Navy on top.
Pass interference, defense, number 9. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, 1st down.
I think one of the key discussions now is home field advantage in the American, that championship game. If Navy wins out, they will have home field advantage San Diego State and Air Force are going to play in the Mountain West Championship, but home field is yet to be determined there. Brewer gets outside. Flags go down, and that follows the play. Brewer's out of bounds at the 40. This one may be wiped out. That's a 15-yard carry. Elijah Merchant, a sophomore out of Humble, Texas, is down. Tulsa's had some big plays called back tonight. They've had some drops, some key turnovers.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 29. The penalty will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Third down. First down.
And so this is going to back Tulsa up inside the 20, around the 16-yard line.
Yeah, from the bottom of the screen, number 29, right there. You see he blocks Elijah Merchant in the back. It was Justin Hobbs, a wide receiver.
Now remember, Tulsa, if they lose this game, goes to 5-6, but they could become bowl eligible next week. We've got a game with Tulane. Last bowl for Tulsa was the Liberty Bowl. They won the Liberty Bowl in 2012. Blankenship was the coach at that point. And a really nice run of bowls from 2003 to 2012. Tulsa went to 8 bowl games, and they won 5 of them. Todd Graham had 3 bowl wins in that span. He was the head coach here. Brewer avoids a tackle to the 25. And it's going to be a gain of 8. 5.5 minutes left here in Tulsa. We will get you out to UNLV. San Diego State is in now the Mountain West Championship game, but obviously they want style points. They want to beat UNLV. They have Nevada next week because both Air Force and San Diego State trying to move up the computer rankings so they can host that championship game. Evans, strong arm, and in traffic, he threads the needle. Hobbs makes the catch out near midfield at the 48-yard line.
Really good throw right there by Dane Evans, getting it right over the arms of the defensive backs. But, you know, looking ahead to next week, Rich, I'm really excited to watch Navy's defense against Houston's offense. And I know Houston lost today against UConn, and maybe it doesn't have the same luster that it did, but I can't be more impressed with how this defense is played. You know their offense is going to be what they are, and they're going to be able to run the ball, and they're going to be able to take care of the ball and grind out yards. But the more and more I watch Navy's defense, the more and more respect I have for it and the style that they play.
Floyd makes the catch, and remember at the start of fall practice, Buddy Green, the longtime defensive coordinator, had neck surgery. He was having physical difficulties and had to step aside. Dale Pearson, one of his best friends and longtime lieutenant, takes over his first year as a defensive coordinator, and he's done a whale of a job. He still gets great input from Green during the week. Brewer escapes, and he's down to the 22. Another flag trails the play at the 35-yard line. There's a look at Pearson, who long ago was a defensive back at Utah.
I think they're going to get Garrett Stafford, number 76. Looked like he got a bit of a clothesline on the middle linebacker.
Holding, offense, number 76. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Garrett Stafford came out and pretty much just clothesline number 54. You're going to watch him right here. And he just kind of sticks that right arm out and takes Goebel's head off.
Huh.
Aggressive.
At the Navy 45 now. And in our discussions with both opponents and the Navy coaches, they talked about the front 7. Nice catch there, Connor Floyd. And Tulsa to the 32-yard line. Story to tell in the sports world. Adam Shine is excited to put his spin on it. Time to shine. Tuesdays through Fridays, 6 Eastern, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Tulsa in hurry-up mode. That throw incomplete. Connor Floyd, the intended receiver. Even Keenan Reynolds, when we talked to him this week about all that he's done offensively, wanted to push a lot of the praise over to the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, sometimes it's just lip service. But honestly, this defense has played well. And really, this offense for Tulsa was a big play offense, an explosive offense. And they've completely shut everything down here tonight. And just imagine, Kieris Garrett was putting up big numbers. And he really hasn't done anything here in this game. So the front 7 is completely taken away any running game that Tulsa may have had. And the secondary, primarily the cornerbacks, have played a brilliant game outside against some pretty explosive wide receivers.
That was Garrett on the catch. This is Brewer into the end zone, and Tulsa breaks through and puts 6 up on the board. Sophomore D'Angelo Brewer. And the point is good. The Navy's lead is cut to 44-21.
Nice pull block right here by the right guard, number 63, Chris Wallace. And there's just nobody. It didn't look like Navy was even ready when the ball was snapped. That was an easy touchdown for D'Angelo Brewer. Too bad they didn't have that running game early on.
So 44-21. Navy has long since replaced Keenan Reynolds at quarterback and some other key spots, especially at this point of the season. Trying to keep everybody as fresh as possible. It's a short week, a Friday game against Houston. And if Navy wins that one, they are in the American Championship game. Got a field an onside kick. Hands team is on. The big second hop's going to go all the way out of bounds. Time now for the Roll Aids Rapid Relief Performance. Keenan Reynolds, a touchdown, and then with this run, he passes Napoleon McCallum, the all-time rushing lead in Navy history. Just snuck by him. He is one touchdown behind Monty Ball on the all-time NCAA career touchdown list for FBS competition. He's at 82. Monty Ball, the running back from Wisconsin, at 83. Tago Smith is in running the offense. And he's given up the red cap, and now he has the neon green cap on. To the 39-yard line.
That really stands out.
Yeah, it does. Well, when you're given the guitar strum signal, you don't want to get it confused with the guy next to you. One thing Navy does is, like many hurry-up teams, they'll get to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they'll snap it. Other times, it's a look at the defense and a look to the sideline. And it was funny. Ivan Jasper, the offensive coordinator, told us this week that oftentimes Keenan Reynolds gets that second look and then changes the play as it has come in, depending on what he sees. And he is very, very good at that. It's one of the things that you have to be to run this offense and run it well. You have to be smart. You have to be very good.
Second timeout of the second
Very
half
quick
called by
decisions.
Tulsa.
It
30
looks
seconds
simple
timeout.
because, you know, great quarterbacks like Keenan Reynolds make it look simple. But with all the quick decisions that he has to make after the snap, he has to do just as much stuff in terms of ball handling and decision making in the quarterback and the option run game as a drop back passer has to do reading coverage in the passing game.
And long gone are the days where a quarterback would call his own game, but I think Reynolds is as close as anybody in the game as calling his game in terms of what he sees, what he checks out of, and what he checks into.
Yeah, that's a deadly combination. When you get a quarterback in this type of an offense, already hard enough as it is to defend when you're playing this style of one-on-one football. But when you also have the quarterback that is an extension of the coach on the field and has such a great grasp of not only how you're trying to attack defenses, but how defenses are trying to attack you. And so this offense almost always operates at an advantage.
Maybe keeps it on the ground. Chris High gets his first carry of the ball game, and High is inside the 25. Navy continues to move the chains. Clock continues to roll. Hang with us. We're headed to the Mountain West, where San Diego State is in Las Vegas to take on UNLV. And San Diego State trying to make it 7 in a row. They have won 6 straight. They can go 7-0 in the Mountain West. They are in the Mountain West Championship game against Air Force. Site to be determined in the next 2 games. What a win for Air Force last night at Boise State. Navy marches on here. High again. And of course for Navy, a showdown with Houston. Even though Houston lost at UConn today, the winner of next week's game at Houston goes to the championship game in the very first year of playing in a conference. 135 years of Navy football. This is their first ever season in a conference. And I like the way you put it early in the game. There's a lot of teams in the American that are wondering what hit them. Now that Navy is in the conference. Difficult to prepare for, really difficult to play. Arch, we are going to project a winner here in Tulsa.
It's aggressive, Rich.
Thank you. And Navy's going to go to 7-0. And you know what, Arch? If they do get to that New Year's Six game, I don't want to be the Power 5 team that has to face these guys.
No. You know, with this offense, even when they're not as good as Navy is at running this offense, it's the worst offense to go up against. It makes so many problems on you defensively, but then when you get an offense that has 11 seniors on it, a guy like Keenan Reynolds pulling the trigger, it makes it even worse.
Oh, and there they are, the longtime friends, Brian Norwood and Ken Niamatalolo, high school friends in Hawaii, teammates at the University of Hawaii. And on the other side of the ball for Philip Montgomery, the rebuilding year, still a shot at bowl eligibility. If they can take down Tulane next week, they will be bowl eligible. And of course the defense for Navy, so spectacular tonight. An unsung, overshadowed obviously by Reynolds and the offense.
Yeah, pretty much every major test that they have faced offensively in a conference that has a lot of great offensive firepower, they've been able to completely take over and dominate the game defensively.
And so 44-21 is the final. Niamatalolo and Kieris Garrett. This is still a young Tulsa team with some bright spots. But they were up against a juggernaut tonight. And the Navy now at 9-1 and 7-0. Tulsa now at 5-6. That is the Tulsa alma mater. It's a Navy tradition not only to stand for their alma mater, but for the opponents. And now Navy will race to the other end of the field. The band is here, and a chance to soak in. This historic ride continues, and there they are. The families are so close. Those guys are best friends. And Norwood today, Brian Norwood, had to try to stop his best friend's defense. And Kenny Atamalo gets the win. Niamatalolo and Norwood embracing at midfield. Here is the Navy alma mater. And of course the yell of Beat Army at the end. They'll have a chance to do that on the 12th of December on CBS, of course. Keenan Reynolds, the senior, passes by Napoleon McCallum, is the all-time rusher in Navy history. He is one touchdown shy of the career touchdown mark behind Monty Ball, and he is down with Rashawn Ali. Rashawn.
Keenan, what another stellar night you had. You broke another record, passing the all-time leading rushing record at Navy. What does all this mean for you?
You know, it's definitely an honor. I'm very grateful and gracious for all these acknowledgments, these things. You know, but it's a team effort tonight. We played a great team game. Defense plays outstanding, holding a very, very good offense. You know, 21 points up front. Guys blocked their tails off, so I'm just really proud of those guys.
And your name is now being mentioned in the Heisman conversation. Is that humbling for you?
It is, you know, it's just a blessing. I'm just truly blessed to be in the spot that we're in as a team. You know, we just got to keep it rolling. We got a whole lot of football left to play. So, you know, my focus next up is Houston.
That's right. Well, you will take on a Houston team next week, but maybe a group of 5, a New Year's Day bowl. What does that feel like?
You know, we haven't got there yet, so, you know, I can't tell you what it feels like. We just got to keep working, keep grinding, take it one day at a time, one game at a time.
Well, I'm so very grateful for you, and thank you so much for being a role model for so many young boys, especially African-American boys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, good stuff. Keenan Reynolds, a touchdown today. And Navy just keeps rolling. Navy is now 9-1, 7-0. On to Houston next Friday, possibly to the American Championship and possibly to a New Year's Six bowl game. With Rashawn Ali, Adam Archuleta, our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Let's go to Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, take it away in New York.
Rich, thanks so much. 9-1 now for Navy. They remain unbeaten in conference play. Houston lost earlier today. Navy is in sole possession of the West Division. They're going to play Houston next week, so it really doesn't matter that they're in sole possession. The winner of that game goes on to the title game in the AAC. This Navy story becomes better and better every week.
Gets bigger and better each week. Keenan Reynolds, what an athlete, what a quarterback, what a leader. He touches the ball every single snap, makes good decisions. You know, this guy, you just love what he stands for. You love his demeanor, his attitude. It's basically follow me. He does everything the right way, even when nobody's looking. But give the defense credit. We give a lot of credit to the offense, Brent. The defense does an outstanding job.
We get San Diego